All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. That. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? All right, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. That. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it. Break it. Break it down. Let's drop the beat. Beat. Let's get you healed up. Let's get you healed up. Healed up. Healed up. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's pick it up. Lucio coming at you. Coming at you. Yeah, time to heal up. Oh, turn it up. Up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up in my headphones. My headphones. Turn it up in my headphones. Audio medic. Audio medic. Audio medic. Move to the beat. Boost. Boost. Oh, this is my jam. Time to accelerate.
And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Off the Wall, powered by CGL Console Gaming League. I am your host, the one and the only Lucio Main, Dazzle167. And with me today, we have a very, very, very special guest. His name is Sir JTA. He is a two-time, that's right, you heard it, two-time console champion in both Xbox and PS4. He is the man reigning justice from above, Mr. Sir JTA. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great, man. I am doing awesome. Today is the new update for Overwatch. Reaper's going to be being played a lot, right?
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah. So Goats, who knows, might die. We'll see. I don't know, right? We're going to see a few things happen. So today's an interesting day. And on top of all of that, we have you. So we're going to have you here. We're going to talk about some of your achievements and accomplishments. But real quick, I want you to just stretch yourself, get your flex on, and tell everybody here some of your rank. Tell me some of your peak and how you've been doing in the ladder and stuff like that.
Well, I've been playing Overwatch since Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was my first season playing comp, and I was a diamond, and that was not good. And then and the next season, my second season, since Season 3, I've been top 500 every season since then. I've peaked 46, 66 in Season 10. I've hit rank 1 a few times since then. And and this season's not been so good. I've been stuck a little bit lower, but
that's all right though. That's all right. You've already shown that you are a force to be reckoned with, obviously with the different championships. We'll get to that too. But first, I want to talk about like we always do here on the show, I want to talk about your gaming origins. Like, I want you to tell me what specifically, what did you start playing, like, gaming-wise? Like, what console did you start on, what games, and what led you to Overwatch?
Well, yeah, as a kid, I mean, everyone kind of plays, like, some Nintendo games. Like, I always had a DS growing up. I played, like, Mario and stuff. And then I played Minecraft for a while.
Nice.
And then I remember when a few years back, well, a long time ago now, I remember my grandpa had bought me Black Ops 2. That was like my first shooter game, one of my first. And then from there I just played COD over the years, and then I got really into Destiny for a while. I played like all of Destiny 1, like the full 3 years of it. And then towards the end of that, I think that's when Overwatch was coming out, around that time. And around then I only played with like my real life friends. Like I didn't really talk to online people. So I got into Overwatch. I played the beta. I didn't actually like it. I thought it was like too cartoony. It wasn't my thing. So I didn't play Season 1. I didn't play during that time. But my like IRL friends, they were really into it, and they convinced me to start playing with them. And I played during Season 2. And I actually started enjoying it. I was a Lucio main.
My man. Yeah. All right.
And then from there, then the next season, early Season 3, I decided to stop playing with my real life friends because I wanted to see how far I could get myself. So I tried to meet some like online people, and I remember I used this LFG website, and I met some people on there, and I actually still talk to the people I met off there.
Oh, nice.
And then from there, I just was able to like climb higher and higher, and then eventually, like a few seasons later, I met some people. I kind of got into the community from there.
Nice. Well, that's dope. And that's not an uncommon story before. I've heard a lot of people say stuff like, well, my real life friends, they were playing Overwatch, and they were like, we're going to play this game. So if you don't play this game, we're just not going to play video games with you. So
no, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. It's funny because like when I started playing Overwatch, my story was a little bit different. I have a stepdaughter, and she started playing Overwatch like, I don't know, like a month or two after it came out. And she got into it, and she was like, you should play this, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I tried it out, and I got hooked. I was like, oh, this is a dope game. So but unlike you, where I think you said you started in Diamond, right? Was that your first rank?
Well, okay. I didn't get placed in Diamond.
Okay.
I actually got placed in Gold.
Okay,
I got
okay.
placed like.
See, that doesn't make me feel so bad because I got placed in silver, so I was. To be
Yeah.
fair, though, I like immediately went into comp as soon as I hit level 25, which till this day I tell everybody not to do. I was like, just keep playing quick play for a while until you get a little bit
Yeah.
better, because it's not good.
I did not know the game. I went into comp and I didn't even like know what some heroes did. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. So okay, so now we know all of the stuff about how you got led to Overwatch. Let's talk about specific things about Overwatch. So, what are some of your favorite characters? Obviously, you mentioned Lucio was one of your first mains. What are some of your other favorite characters, and what are some of your favorite roles?
Well, for me personally, I'm like gold border. I'm almost plat border now. I play the game a lot, and for me personally, I really enjoy Overwatch. And for me to keep enjoying Overwatch, I have to play everything. Honestly, I like
Okay.
flexing. I like playing every role. But specifically, some of my favorite heroes, surprisingly, like I tell people this sometimes, and they're just like, "What?" I like playing Mercy a lot. I like playing
Really?
Lucio.
That is
Yeah.
actually really interesting. Okay.
I like playing, and then when it comes to my main, like the heroes I really main, I think my favorites come down to like Reaper and Tracer, two of my favorites.
Reaper and
Yeah.
Tracer. Okay. That's actually really interesting. I don't think I've ever heard
Yeah.
people who like to play Mercy.
I love. I still to this day love playing Mercy. I don't know why. I just feel like it's just satisfying.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a bad character. I just always thought of Mercy, especially for people who are so good at DPS. Like for me,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
man.
I've never been really good at DPS. And I've never been able to carry or do well on DPS. So I've always chose support. And like for me, it's always been about how I was like, well, I'm choosing support because that's what I'm good at. Like I'm not gonna flex onto something that I'm not gonna be good at. But even Mercy for me, I was just like, I feel like I don't do anything but just hold the stick and and the beam and just like.
Yeah.
But I
A lot of people associate it with like kind of a low skill thing, but I mean there actually is like if you put the time in, you can get really good with her. And there's stuff even I can't do because I'm not a Mercy man. Like watching some Mercy players, they can do some really crazy stuff.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, I'm not a Mercy main myself, and sometimes I do flex to Mercy, and I'm not very good at it, but I do see how there's a value to it because, I mean, a lot of the things that I do wrong as Mercing is just positioning. Like, I just have terrible positioning. Like, I go for bad reses. Like, I'm just terrible at the
Yeah.
character. When I see other really good Mercies play, I notice that they just sometimes they feel untouchable, like they're just zooming through the map, and I find that really cool. So yeah, that's definitely really cool. Let me talk about first of all. So this is a 2-part question. So my first question about this is, where did your gamer tag come from? Because I mentioned on Twitter before that when I saw your gamer tag for the first time, it just felt like the name of an airplane company. And then it's funny too, because when I saw you play for the first time, you were playing either Diva or Pharah. I was like, okay, is this guy doing it on purpose? Is this guy all about the skies? What's going on? So tell me, what's the thing behind your name, your gamer tag?
Well, I've had so many gamer tags in the past, but this one I made midway through playing Overwatch, and I've stuck with it for a while. So basically, I kind of stole it in a way. There's this one guy. His name was Almost Reach. He had an account, and like the beginning started with Sir, and I don't know why. I just liked the way it looked, so I took that. And then JTA are my initials, and I just put that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just rolled it.
Okay, because the first thing I thought was like, it's like JTA. It sounds like TWA. It's a plane that got knighted by the Queen. So somebody in Overwatch dubbed you Sir JTA. So that brings me to my second question that comes from your name. So your team's name was Sir JTA's fan club. Where did that come from? Who decided that you were gonna have a whole fan club?
Believe it or not, I had actually nothing to do with that. That was all them. One day, I was just looking in the group chat, and they were talking about team names, and basically our team leader,
yeah,
who put everything. He was just like, he mentioned it, and I was like, I love that. Like that is so great. Cause I don't know, I just thought it was so funny, and then we just rolled with it from there.
It is really funny because like I haven't talked to you for too long, or I haven't known you for a while or anything, but for in the short time that I've seen you on Twitter and I talked to you here, you seem like a very humble person. You seem like a very sort of quiet, type of person. And I think I can see the joke now, how like somebody would be like, oh yeah, let's make a fan club for him, like, because he's so like, I don't know, kind of like quiet and just like so it makes sense. It's funny. It's a good like kind of troll type thing. Okay, so the next question is one of the things that I saw on Twitter was one of the tweets that I think you retweeted, and I saw somebody else talk about it, is that somebody was saying
wait, start over. Something happened there.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Start the question.
Okay, cool. All right. So one of the things that I saw on Twitter was that somebody had tweeted how it was very impressive how a team that went from almost disbanding during scrims to winning the entire Lame Sauce tournament. It was that was just impressive to a lot of people. So I want you to elaborate on that. Like, how did that happen? What happened during scrims that you didn't think this team was gonna be able to compete, that you were like, oh, we're gonna have to disband because this is not gonna be good? Like, how did that happen?
I mean, I'll be honest myself. So coming into this team and like looking at the surrounding teams around us, like, a lot of these teams have really stacked teams and they have really good players. And I mean, I didn't even have that much time played with anybody on my team really. So I kind of going into it, I didn't even expect to win. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was like, I'm gonna try my hardest, but we'll just see where we get. And I've actually been busy for a while. And like for the last month. So I think I played in one scrim, which is kind of crazy, and I feel bad about it. But I only got to play in one scrim. But from what I've heard, there's just scrims did not go well. There was always arguing, and people were just getting mad at each other. Like not so much synergy. And then I don't know what it was. Just on game day, like everyone just was there to play, and like it just worked. Like something clicked, and we just like worked really well together.
That's
crazy.
That's actually really cool. I mean, I know there's been a lot of instances like that before. Like I've been on teams and I've had teams before where we just do terrible in scrims. It's just not a scrim. Like and I think it's not necessarily because we weren't on our game or we were bad or whatever. It's just like sometimes we try stuff and it doesn't work and we're terrible at it.
I mean, scrims are about practice in general. Like winning the scrim in general. It's not like you have anything to win or lose. It's more what you get out of it as a team. I think it helps probably, like, learn each other and how, like, we react to different things, especially. But, I mean, I would like to be there more, but I guess it didn't matter too much.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, so that makes sense. I mean, although I think it's actually kind of funny how like, you went from having JTA's fan club to like not really scrimming with them that much, and you had a whole fan club playing, and there was like, well, where's JTA? Yeah, like that's actually kind of weird.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, that's cool. And so again, but it doesn't take away how impressive it is, because I remember people were tweeting their top picks for who was gonna win the tournament, and
I don't think we were up there.
Yeah, I don't think you were either. I mean, I think the highest I saw you was maybe 5th. Right. I mean, you were definitely in the top. You were definitely in the top 10, but I don't think anybody saw it coming, and that's what made it so impressive. I mean, it happens in sports all the time where you have a stacked team like the Golden State Warriors, and then they get beat by the Cleveland Cavaliers in a reverse sweep, and that's literally what happened to you. I mean, it's cool to see. It's an underdog story that I think a lot of people can relate to, right? A lot of people's like, wow, that's, I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, Tensa said it himself in when he was quoting the top 10 people, the number one team was a team that you faced in the finals, and like on paper, I saw it, and on paper, I was like, man, that team is. I don't want to go against that team. That team is stacked.
No, for sure. I felt the same way, honestly.
So okay, so we know that you won in a reverse sweep. So what? There had to be something halfway through the game that clicked for
yeah.
you guys as a team? Like, and you can
There's a
see
few
it.
things.
So tell me specifically what was it about? Did you have like a mid game speech that encouraged everybody to just do better? Like, what happened exactly?
So earlier in the tournament, like we played against the units team, and we kind of had a similar situation. We were down 2-1, and we came back and we ended up beating them. So then I kept that in the back of my head, and then now we're back. We're against the throne. We're down 0-2, and people, I'm not even like, people were pretty down. Like some people were ready to give up, and it just, like, you could tell that the team morale was low, right? And I was just like, look, we did this before. We could do it again. We just have to play really hard. Like, we know how they play. We know how to counter them, and like we realized that they didn't have a diva player, so we took advantage of our strengths at having someone who could play Ana, and we really took advantage of that nade because they couldn't eat it. So we just rolled with that. Honestly, that was our main thing. Flaffy carried so hard, and then we just rolled with it, and we played to our strengths and their weaknesses, and it worked really well.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good analysis of what happened, because it did feel like all of a sudden, and I think it started happening Hanamura, right?
Yeah.
Where
yeah, if I remember correctly, that was the first map we won.
That was like the first one where you guys started kind of like, where even the casters were like, the throne's been dominating, and then all of a sudden it almost seemed like, and it didn't necessarily seem like they weren't doing as well. It just seemed like you guys kind of figured
really
out some
turned
things.
on.
Yeah,
because the whole time they didn't drop a single map the whole time, but I feel like all the other teams, like I watched some of their games, and the teams they were playing, I feel like they made a lot of mistakes in the sense that they didn't like look at what their weaknesses were, and they didn't change. Like we really were able to see what we can do to win, and we took advantage of that, and I think that's what really clicked in us, and that's what helped us win, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just really cool. I remember seeing some of it, and just some of the plays were so organized on how it happened, and it seems like, how like sometimes you see a play and you'll see people throw every ult and it's kind of disorganized, but they still win the fight and stuff. Like it wasn't like that at all. Like when you saw the match, it felt like everything had a purpose. Everything was real specific. So I have a clip of the actual tournament. It's a very short clip. I want to show it though, because I want to analyze this clip real quick, because it's one of my favorite plays of the entire match. It was really cool. So let's take a look at this real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Sure to use that from JTA, and it kind of cost them. Also, waking up the sleeps. There's been a slept member twice.
Empowered got slept and bamboozled out of that barrage. JTA's fan club now use the graviton.
All right, so a few things there is that, like, so you saw the enemy Pharah, they were ulting, and then I believe Flaffy, right? Your Ana slept. Yeah, he slept. He also naded her, so she couldn't get health. And then their Zen went to go save, but because he was naded, he ended up dying. Yeah. And then he came back, and there was a barrage on your part, and then you got a 4K. I mean, it was just so. It was like Overwatch at its best, at like so organized the way it went through, and it was just people playing at their peak, and it was very specific, like how you guys did everything.
There's actually something crazy about that. So that map specific, like right then, or like it was about halfway through that map, we were all in an Xbox Live party, and the party disconnected, and no one was talking. So and I'm sitting there, I was standing in spawn, and I just kept leaving and joining. I was trying to get myself to connect, and I'm like, shit. And then I was like, yeah, this isn't working. I'm going to game chat. Hopefully they do too. And then they did the next round, but anyway, the round was about to end, and all that happened, and it was as if we were talking. Like we just were able to combo, like Chris, my Zarya player. He just grabbed, and I was there, and it was just like a perfect combo, and everything just worked perfectly.
Yeah, no, that grab was actually perfect. I mean, the moment that Pharah went to sleep, I mean, I think it's when the graph came out and you just took advantage of it and just and it's impressive because I saw that their Zen had the transcendence and you still killed through it, and you know it was just an impressive overall play. So I think that was definitely huge. So okay, so the Lame Sauce tournament, that was a great showing for you guys, but that's not the first time that you've played in a tournament. It's not the first time you've won in a tournament either. So tell us about your other experiences in tournaments. Like what made you so versatile and just I'm just gonna play PS4 and then dominate that too. Like how did that happen?
So back a few seasons ago in Overwatch, I actually had my first ever team, or basically my first like real team. And we were called the Season 7 Kids, and we played in 3 tournaments, and we won every single one. Like, they weren't for money back then, because the scene wasn't so big, but we won all of them, and we were, like, completely undefeated. And that's, like, my friend group still to this day, like, those players.
Yeah.
And just recently, we heard that there was PS4 tournaments for money, and I've had a PS4 for years, because I used to play Destiny on there. And it was Black Friday, and some of the people that were on that team, they were like, all right, let's get some PS4s because, I mean, there's money over there. We might as well try to make some. So we were like, all right. And then, you know, people had connections. We found a team, and we started scrimming over there. And then everything just worked out. So, and then we were just like, whatever, let's do this.
No, that's crazy. I mean, especially because it seemed like, oh, you know what? We play Xbox. Let's just go. You know, like it's almost like I don't care who's on PS4. We're gonna win. It's like,
I mean, honestly, in the back of my head, like I was just like, you know, I know we work so well together. Like I'm sure we could do it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's really impressive. So you've had these accomplishments, right? And obviously there's a scene growing. I mean, we have the Lame Sauce tournament and perfectly right after it, we're going to have the CGL new season coming up. What are your plans? I mean, I personally don't know like what you're going to go into. Do you have a team? Are you interested in going into the CGL? What's your plans for the scene in the future?
Well, so I'm still actively on that same PS4 team. So I'm actually playing in CGL on both teams. I'm playing on PlayStation still with my team Supreme, and so it's me and 3 Xbox players, and then the rest are PS4 players. And those are the people I won the PS4 tourney with about a month or so back. And then on Xbox, I'm a part of a new team that me and some friends are making, and should be fun. Excited for it though.
Yeah, no, that seems nice. I mean, it seems like there's a lot to be done, and I mean, I think everybody would be disappointed if you didn't compete in the new CGL. So with that said, what would you like to see from the scene? Obviously, the scene is growing, right? We're getting some more console support. We're getting prize money now, so there's stuff on the line. You know, it's not just like before, but now there's actually something to play with. There's content being created around that. So what are some of the things that you would like to see happening in the scene in the future? What's your opinion on that?
Definitely a lot of things. Like even this show, for example. I think stuff like this is amazing. I think for the community, I think it like builds the community more. You know, it brings people together. I think it pushes people to want to compete. I think it's great. There was like 100+ teams that played in the Lame Sauce tourney. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, more teams, more competition. It's just more fun, you know, and it makes it so more stuff like this can happen. Because I mean, you can't have a tournament with no players. So I mean, it really pushes people. I think I hope that there's more tournaments. I think this league is going to be really fun. I think it's a great idea. And yeah.
Absolutely. So remind me, because I think chat is also having this question. What was the Xbox team name that you're on?
JTA's fan club.
Okay, so it's
my original one.
Well, I just wanted to confirm because I didn't know if you were still sticking to the JTA's fan club name or if you like started something different.
Yeah. The new team name. I'm not. To be honest, I'm not even sure. I don't know if it's decided yet.
Okay, so but I'm assuming you guys signed up for the tournament or for the league.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's got to be a name somewhere out there, unconfirmed
Yeah,
name.
I just don't know.
It could be something. JTA is like, I don't know, I'm just along for the ride. I'll be fine with that.
It starts with an R. I don't know.
Okay, it starts with an R. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so we got chat. If you have any questions for Sir JTA, please let us know. Write them in the chat. Let us know what you think if you have any questions. I was yesterday. I had a really cool kind of like a Lucio session with your very own Lucio, Chrissy Chan, and he's just so fun to be around with and play. He's such a cool dude. So he was talking to me about some of the stuff, and I was like, what do you think I should ask him, and he was sort of a meme question, but he was like, you need to ask him why he had his diva sense on 15-15.
All right. Well, it wasn't 15-15. Everyone's making fun of me on Twitter and stuff because it's so low. I was playing on for the tournament. I was playing on 40-40. But that's actually a raise from what I used to play on. I used to play on 36-16, but I figured I'd up it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been just a slow sense kind of player. I don't know. That's just how I roll, I guess.
And is that just diva, or do you have low sense on other characters?
I play the same thing on everything.
Really?
Everything.
So that's not just diva. I mean, I figured like diva. I would think diva would need higher sense, but like I can see how you can get away with low sense. But like I'm assuming that other characters, I'm assuming other characters might need like higher sense. Like, how do you get away with such low sense?
I don't know. I mean, it's always worked, so I just never thought to change it. I guess.
No, if you're right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly.
Nice. All right, so some of the questions in chat. So we have some of the questions, and one of them is, what team are you most worried about coming into the CGL, if any?
I don't know all the teams, and I know some teams that were in a Lame Sauces tournament kind of mixed up. Like some players went different places, but I know the Throne is still in there.
Yeah.
And, we beat them, whatever. But I mean, they're still great players. They have a great lineup, and they're still practicing. I'm assuming. So I mean, they're gonna be a hard matchup. And to be honest, that's the only team I really know. But I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be some great other teams that are in it as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it makes for a great narrative too. The fact that you have a team who was so stacked, and I'm sure they're gonna be working hard to come back because there's no way that they're gonna let that slide again. They're gonna be competitive, and I know you guys are gonna be the same way. You guys are gonna be equally as competitive. All right, so here's one of the things that and I don't mean to blindside you with this, but I have heard a lot of this, and I want you to either dispel the rumors or talk a little bit about it beforehand, because I'm getting it in chat, and I'm also I've seen it on Twitter. Some people are accusing you of MNKing, not necessarily specifically throughout the tournament or anything. But some people are saying ladder, some people are saying, do you have a Zim and stuff like that. Just to take this as a platform for you to explain some of it. What is your stance on it? What have you been doing? Like, let the people know.
All right, so my entire gaming career, I've always been a console player. I've never played on PC really until a few months back, but I still don't really play on there. I've always been a controller player, and I always kind of wanted to experiment with a mouse and keyboard, and I actually do own a Zim. I have been experimenting with it for maybe 3 seasons, and all my achievements I've done with a controller, so I'm proud of that, because I know some people think it's cheating or whatever, but it's ladder, so I just wanted to try it for fun. And the whole tournament I was controller. I hand cammed the whole thing on stream. That's about it. I don't hide it or anything,
Yeah, and I think that makes sense too. I mean, I know a lot of people. I
go back and forth.
Yeah, and I think it's a controversial issue, but I think it's only controversial because the moment some people get whiff of the fact that you either have a Zim or have used it in the past or something, I know that a lot of people are like, oh, he MNKs. That's why I lost. People get automatically very salty about the fact that you've used it in ladder before and stuff like that. But it's good to know that, I think the fact that a lot of these tournaments, gives opportunity to everybody for them to show themselves regardless. And I don't think you'd be successful if you I don't think you'd be as successful if you only use Zim and if you hit it. I think at some point people would have found out during tournaments and be like, okay, this guy can't, he can't play, So I think it is very important for people to understand that. Yeah, I mean, you've used it in the ladder. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But I think there's a lot of people out there like that. And I personally know people who have Zims and they've used it in ladder too. And even they tell me, they're like, it's just a different way of playing. And sometimes I can't play certain characters with it. So if I want to flex, I won't plug it in. Like I can only play Widowmaker with it. So I'll.
Well, for me personally, with a controller and my entire Overwatch career, I've always been like a kind of a projectile main. Like I play Pharah, play Hanzo, Genji. I mean, I also play Hitscan, but I mean, when I use this, I'm probably actually worse with it because like some heroes are just harder. Like playing like Pharah and Genji, they seem a lot harder with it. So I mean, it's not even a bad thing that like people like in the tournaments, like they want you to hand cam. Like it doesn't affect me. Like I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, and I think obviously you proved it, right? I mean, you showed people that you were playing with a controller. I mean, it's not, you were able to play with a controller and people saw how good you were with the controller. So I don't think there should be any question anymore, but I know that there's going to be a lot of haters out there and there's always going to be people talking like but I think it's always been interesting. I have a personal final question, and this is one it's more I'm going to bring this up with other people too because I have this this is a question for anyone, obviously, but I want to ask you because I wanted to talk to high elo players about this. There's a big stigma, and I don't really understand it, so I want to see what your thoughts on stacking in high elo, for example. So I hear a lot of people, and not necessarily you, because to be perfectly honest, I've never heard this about you. I've heard this about other people, and I don't really understand it. But like I'll hear people say, "Oh, well, he 6-stacked to get top 500, or he did this to get top 500, or it's more impressive that he solo queued to get top 500." So what are your thoughts on that? Because you seem like the type of person who gets along with a lot of people. So what are your thoughts on stacking and what's your opinion overall?
Well, for me personally, when I like made that first big climb, like when I got to top 500, I didn't really know anybody that much. I was usually soloing, maybe duoing, and most like the first few seasons I played the game, that's how it was for me. And then around season 7 time, that's when I kind of made a lot of friends, and they just kept coming. It just felt like I made more and more friends. You know what I mean? Because you meet the community, and there's so many good people to play with. And then I did start to stack around those seasons, and it depends. So in my opinion, I don't think that solo queuing versus stacking shows any difference in skill because it depends on the matchmaking, obviously, and not every game is fair, right? But I mean, if you're in a 6-stack, you don't usually get games against all solo queuers. Usually you'll just sit in a super long queue until another 6-stack snipes you. I mean, and those games are always good. I remember in season 9. I 6-stacked a little bit, and I was always, sniping other stacks or whatever. And those are always fun games. It's like kind of like a scrim.
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of people get like somewhat egos from getting high solo queuing. I mean, it's a good job, but personally for me, and especially in the later seasons, it seems like solo queuing is a lot riskier, and it seems like it's really like luck based and inconsistent. And at least that's how it's been for me. And I mean, when I want to, like, if I know I want to make like kind of a big climb, I probably will get some friends together because it's just like it is a little easier because you have people that you could trust and work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not a high elo player by any means. I play somewhere roughly around mid masters most of the time, especially the last few seasons. But for me, the game is so much. It feels like when you stack or when you play with more than just your, just solo queue or stuff like that, it seems like you're playing the game the way it's meant to be played, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Personally, that's how I see it. I think the game is meant to be played, not let alone with people you want to play with, and just it's a team game. And when I see this on Twitter sometimes, people say, "Oh, you stack to win," you can't solo queue. I mean, it's so lucky. You could get those one tricks on your team, or people that just don't want to win in general. I mean, those people are detrimental to the game because it just hurts the community. And like, I don't think solo queuing proves getting those people on your team. I don't think that proves anything that much, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think,
yeah.
That's how I see it.
And here's the thing too, is that like sometimes I'll go in ladder and I'll get a one trick Orisa or a one trick Torbjorn or Symmetra, and I don't necessarily I don't have the highest game sense, so I don't necessarily know how to play or make a team comp around those type of characters. So for me, it's a little more difficult. But I don't ever I dislike it at the moment because I don't know what personally I can do. But but like I can't be mad at the person for wanting to play, because at the end of the day, I'm also a one trick. My one trick just happens to be just slightly more viable
or something.
Than other people's one tricks. But so I get that.
I could say for myself when it comes to that, once you play the game enough, like you play with enough people, you meet enough randoms in game chat, like you can't. If somebody wants to play something, they're going to play it. You yelling at them and being toxic or just forcing them, that's not going to make them want to switch anymore, I mean, if you get the one trick, you work with it. You either win or you lose. Like, I don't know. Some people just take it too far, I guess. That's how I see it.
For sure. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because that's sort of similar to what my opinion is, and I wanted to know that from a few people because I heard so many other high elo players like, oh, well, I solo queued, so that's way more impressive than, and I guess to some extent it is, because it shows that you can carry to a certain degree. But I mean, I know people in top 10 who if they get a bad team, they lose. It doesn't matter how hard they know how to carry. So yeah, that's good to hear you say that. So I have one more question, and this will probably be closing out. It's sort of like a meme question. I don't even know if you can answer this really, but one of the questions is, what's your body count? I'm assuming how many people you've killed in Overwatch. So that's got to be a hard question, but you've been playing for a long time.
Are you saying like individual every elimination?
I don't know personally. I don't know if that's what the question revolved around, if it was each elimination or just by player. Like, I have no idea. So answer the question any way you think you would want to answer that.
I'm gonna throw this number out there: 7 billion.
7 billion. You heard it here first. Confirmed number of 7 billion. Okay, so watch out for this man on ladder, because he is a beast. All right. Well, listen. I appreciate your time here. I love that you came through.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I love talking to you. You're a very humble dude. Obviously, you're a beast. I can't wait to watch some of your games in the new CGL season. I'm really looking forward to seeing your team and how the narrative goes with against other teams. So that's going to be really, really cool. Thank you for being on the show, ladies and gentlemen. That was Sir JTA, Death from Above. Mr. Death from Above is what I'm going to call him from now on. Thank you, everybody. By the way, everybody in chat, thank you for watching. Thank you for being around. Remember, this show is for the community. If you want to be a part of the show, let me know on Twitter. Contact me. Let me know if you have something to say, if you want to be talk about your expertise, or if you want to flex your rank, or you want to do something really cool and talk about it, let me know. I'm open to ideas. I always want to have people on who are interesting. So please contact me. And this show is for you. This show is definitely for the entire community. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have Dankist, aka Hopeful, whichever name he wants to stick to nowadays is up to him. We're gonna have him on the show. We're gonna see the opposite view of the other side of the tournament. We're gonna talk to him about how he saw it, And then next week we'll announce guests. Check the Twitter, twitter.com/dazzle167 if you want to get updates on the show. And if you want to see some of my really ridiculous, funny Lucio plays also. All right, so JTA, do you have anything to plug? Do you have a Twitch, or do you want people to check out your Twitter or anything like that?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you don't already, it's right now it's at xkingjta. Yeah, that's about it.
Perfect. All right, well, catch the man on ladder. See if you're high enough to play with him, or if you get a chance. And then, guys, it's been real. This has been Off the Wall, Dazzle167, and Sir JTA. Everybody, thank you for watching.